Welcome back to the Good Talk, the show where we discuss what's hot, what's grot, and everything in between in the wide world of Warhammer. My name is Adrian, and I'm joined today by Bridger Han.
What's up?
We're here to talk about the Thousand Suns, the brand new Codex. First of all, big thank you, of course, to Games Workshop for sending us the Codex in advance to review. Well, at least the cards. The book didn't, I don't know, something happened in the mail.
We have a digital copy.
We have digital.
Something.
We got the cards, so we have all the information. Just know that's the reason we're not flashing up graphics today. But we have seen it. We have now played it. I've played it a couple times. You've played against it once. We have lots of thoughts, and we know the internet does as well. So we are excited to talk about it. Welcome in, everybody. First of all, welcome to Jordy James for becoming a captain. Make sure to check out all the behind-the-scenes content. And a big thank you to T for 10 gifted Tabletop Titans memberships, keeping the love going. T does say, I won't be able to join everyone here, some leaving some love from the past, as Armand taught me. I like what I saw from the Codex. It's a shame that those horrendous robots have good rules, though. They do, actually.
Yeah.
They designed them to fulfill a role, and frankly, I think that's something that all the Chaos Legion books have been good at, is making sure that every unit fulfills a specific function, and it's tailored towards that, so pretty cool to see. Welcome in, everybody. What's up, Lycaon, Mike, Nicoles, All You Know 1994, One Nintendo Player, Green Elf 2000, Pezler, and of course, welcome into all the new members.
Hello.
Happy to have you folks. As always, this is going to be a conversation and not a lecture, so it's a good time to let us know what you think, ask any questions, and let's dive on into it. So, Thousand Suns.
Yeah.
How about them Thousand Suns? Let's start at the top. So, new book. Revamp. We knew that this was going to be a book with potentially lots of changes because the index has gone through lots of changes.
Yep.
The data sheet profiles and just the army rule was frankly too strong, which meant we saw a slew of points increases over time, and rules changes over time, and things like that. And so here we are, revamped, and I will say, overall, very successful. I feel like they've done a good job of maintaining the spirit of it. They've cut out some of the bookkeeping, they've cut out some of the shenanigans, but it still feels like a strong, cohesive book.
Well, it feels like Thousand Suns.
Feels like Thousand Suns.
Which is important.
Yeah, exactly. First of all, the Cabal system is completely reworked. It is this thing called the Psychic Phase, and it's back. So basically, you now have a chart.
Excuse me, sir. It's in the beginning of the shooting phase.
It's the beginning of the shooting phase. That's different. You got this beautiful little chart. You basically have your 1, 2, 3, 4 rituals, and you can. They have a casting cost. You roll 2 dice. You can alternatively choose to roll 3 dice in exchange for any doubles or triples doing D3 mortal wounds to you. And then they all have a lesser effect and a greater effect, and you can kind of decide how risky you want to get for it. They are as follows. Reroll hit rolls of 1, going to full rerolls. They are move D6 to moving a flat 6. They are D3 mortal wounds to 3 plus D3 mortal wounds, and they are plus 1 AP to plus 2 AP for the phase, aka shooting. So they're all solid. Honestly, I mean, basically every turn other than the movement one, you're going to be probably attempting to do all of those in some degree.
Yep.
And it simplifies and streamlines and just kind of gets around some of the weirdness of before. You know, you're not incentivized to have a million small characters, which I love.
Right. Which it was always strange that was like an incentive. That rather than having a legion of Dusty Boys, you were supposed to have like 6 sorcerers, and that was like your army.
Right, yeah, and it's like, oh, you have a couple Dusty Boys, but that's about it. You're minimizing them. Yeah. So this is a much better design overall. So big fan of that. Let's see, Grim and Duke. I've heard arguments that the army rule is roll 2 dice, then decide if you want to roll a 3rd one and the option to take mortals. I agree. I think you could potentially read it that way, but it really doesn't feel like that is the proper intent. No. So obviously we could be wrong about it, but it just feels weird and wrong. So we will see. But yeah, that's our take on it.
It's not how this type of ability has ever historically worked. Yeah. There is no precedent for this possibly ambiguous thing to be interpreted in that way.
Yep.
And there is 20-something years of precedent for it to work the way that we think it works. So we're going to go with that until GW says something otherwise.
Yeah. Again, we could be wrong, but it just seems very odd. So we will see. Yeah.
I think it is...
Tactics played it that way in their game. Yeah.
I think it is strange for them to bring back the Psychic phase for one army with no way to interact with it anymore, because it's not really a phase anymore.
Oh, interesting.
You can't deny powers.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is basically the same spells they've had before. Like Death Hex is different now. It's -1, or it's +1 AP, +2 AP, whatever. It's functionally similar to Death Hex.
Right.
Doom Bolt is essentially the same. Like we know these powers. We've played with these powers before.
I think here's the thing. Before, in the index, in the modified index, they were automatic. So they were just always happening. Yes, you could chip away at the army, and then they would not be able to do them, or be able to do them less. But like they just flat out happened. So in this case, we are exchanging that interaction of removing the Cabal points in exchange for, sometimes they will just fail those rolls. So I agree it feels a little bit strange.
It's weird.
But
I think it was definitely worse when it was just
do it.
Just do it, or like 2-up do the thing.
Which was honestly, remember at the beginning of the edition, we were shocked. We're like, wait, you just, and it was remove saves entirely at the beginning of the edition. And it was just, oh, you automatically have Lane Raider with no save. That felt really bad. And then they nerfed it to the 2 AP. And now it's sometimes 1, often 1, sometimes 2 AP. So they're like continuing to weaken it, but also it's still quite strong.
Yeah.
It's an interesting way of doing it. I'll be curious if the Grey Knights get anything. Obviously, Eldar, literally we just played the Eldar like psychic detachment, and they don't do that. So it's an interesting approach. I think if they could do it all over again, like if they reset this edition, and they might,
we would be back to the psychic phase. I think removing the psychic phase was a cool experiment.
Yeah.
I think we learned things. It's not a failed experiment in that we learned something, but I think it was overall bad for the design space of the game. And you know what? No, this is the time to have this talk. Like Thousand Suns bringing back the psychic phase. This is the time to have this talk.
Okay, let's say it.
Because we were speculating on what Thousand Suns, what their role would be.
Right, yeah.
If you go back to like 8th and 9th edition, armies felt distinct from each other in a lot of ways, mostly because there was more design space. Like, how do you differentiate Grey Knights from Custodes from Space Marines? Well, Custodes and Space Marines just have different stats. They're more elite, right? Similar direction they're going, though. Grey Knights are going to be more elite, but also they're like, oh, we have this psychic thing. So we're really good at the psychic phase. Every squad has psychers. So then we saw us go to 10th, and it's like, okay, how are Grey Knights different from Custodes? They have this uppy downy thing. That's it? Like, I don't, like, how Eldar, how do you split up Drukhari from Eldar, from Ynnari? It used to be specializations in psychic, and that gave a lot of shape. Thousand Suns, we were like, how do you even make Thousand Suns without a psychic phase?
It was impossible to comprehend. So here's the thing. So by and large, the psychic phase in 10th edition has moved to abilities on data sheets. And what makes this different, or what makes it maybe not work? I think one of the things that maybe makes it not work, what makes it different? What makes it different is the psychic phase was generally a pool of abilities that you could use on certain characters. At one point it used to be you generate them on certain people, and then at one point it was you all know all of them, and it's just where you're, so like that flexibility is what is essentially lost. And then you put them on data sheets, and the other thing that you lose in that translation is 10th edition is a game that's obsessed with keywords. And they became a lot less creative with what a spell would do, you know? And I think the Eldar really felt this very deeply. So like, is there a world in which you bring some of these back and not others? Maybe. I think what we've regained here is that distributed kind of, that flexibility of like, we're not gonna put this reroll spell on any one data sheet because anyone could have it. And that's kind of interesting, honestly. So I think they could have kept more of the psychic feel than they did. But because of their need to simplify and keep things in keywords, we lost the psychic phase, and then we lost the spirit of the psychic phase in addition to that.
And I think if we've learned anything from the past like 5 years of Warhammer design, if you're going to have a system, just have the system. Actions, when it was a system that you could interact with, great. When actions became this like hush-hush, like we don't actually use the term action, it's just like, well, to score this secondary, you have to have a unit not shoot and be in a certain place and do a certain thing, but not an action.
Certainly not an action.
It's like, just say it. Just have the system, build the rules around it. The psychic phase, just have the system. To be in this weird middle ground, where there's not an established, like, yes, we lost the spirit of the psychic phase. Yes, we lost the actual psychic phase, and it feels weird to have abilities to just give keywords. But also we lost the ability to have an interaction with the psychic phase of like, oh, my army's not good at doing the spells, it's good at stopping the spells.
Correct, which becomes also, the way they've implemented that is very, very niche. Like we saw, again, no spoilers about the last game, you had the ability to get resistance against psychic powers, which is generally how they represent that now.
Yep.
But you had to gain it very late in the game. Often it's like you're taking a unit that maybe has that buff, but because it's so uncommon, you're not going out of your way to take a guy that gives you a 4 feeling pain against psychic attacks.
Right.
Because
it almost never does anything.
It's not worth trying to tech around. So
yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, so you know, we're excited about this. It's weird, obviously, and maybe it's some admission of defeat. No, GW can make mistakes and they can learn from them, and I'm happy for that.
I'm glad that they're going back on this and sort of bringing back the psychic phase, and I want 11th edition to have a proper psychic phase back. I think it really gives a lot of body to the game.
Absolutely. We've got a bunch of super chats, and I'm seeing great discussions in chat. People kind of making points, again, talking about the 2d6 versus the 3d6. So this is all super helpful. Really help keep having that conversation, folks. Really appreciate that everyone's like being kind and respectful and exchanging information. So yeah, that's what I love to see. We will talk about points. They're not leaked. It's just all the content creators, we have points and we can talk about them, but they really don't want us to just be like, here's a document of all the points. Right. Because frankly, as we mentioned, it's all kind of tenuous until the actual release day. So we will talk about points. Let's take some of these super chats. Matthew Powell, thank you. As a Wizwaz, where do you keep your wand? Up your sleeve? With your hair ferret in your wolf tail? No wand, you just shout unlimited power and roll 6s.
That one.
That's definitely you.
I want that one.
Power!
Like, if you have a wand, you could lose it.
Yeah.
I would lose a wand.
It's true. Yeah, yeah.
And now I can't do magic? No, I want to just shoot lightning out of my hands and be a Sith Lord.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's kind of how you play Warhammer too.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm just going to roll the 9, no problem. Yeah. For me, it's definitely in my hair. It's in the hair ferret.
With the hair
It's
ferret?
like behind the ear kind of thing, maybe, and you're just like, oh. Take it back there.
But then what do you do when the hair ferret runs off with it?
Well, then you're screwed.
Then you're rolling 1s and 2s.
And you're rolling 1s and 2s. Exactly. So thanks, Matthew Powell. Appreciate that. All You Know 1994, thank you for the super chat. They say, do you think GW has laid the groundwork for the Grey Knights to get a return of their psychic phase, seeing the T-Suns get theirs back?
I hope so.
Exactly what we were just talking about. It feels very possible now, you know, because they're kind of slated in a similar timeline. Obviously, the Grey Knights book is coming later, which assumes it was probably written around the same time, or after even, which means that they might have learned those same lessons.
Yep.
I would love to see that, because the Grey Knights are another one where I'm actually more happy with the way that they implemented their psychic in some ways, like the whole teleporty up, beat down kind of thing. Like, that feels cool. I know some of it's technology, but a lot of it is psychic. So I think they've been more successful, but I would also love to just see them get that and get away from some of the mortal wounds, stupid things.
I think it messes with their internal balance to say this Terminator Librarian does more damage than anything else because it has this one psychic power. Nobody else has it. So you're just going to see 3 Terminator Librarians in every list.
And that's another one that they've continued to just up and up and up the points on this one lone character. It's not even a lone character. They're not meant to be taken alone, but people do because it's so good.
Yeah. So I would like to see them get more of this system where your wizards at large have access to a pool of spells.
Wizards at large.
So you're not shoehorned into this wizard is all you can play.
Exactly. Another one from Matthew Powell. Has GW been playing the long game and making everyone buy dozens of Zangors with army boxes and just now have made them good? Look, folks, if you've been with us for long enough, you know that they miss as often as they hit. So this is the thing. There's no rhyme or reason behind it, honestly, which is it is a good thing, right? Like, as frustrating as it can be sometimes to have a new model be too good or too bad, like, we've seen both sides of it. So let's just be happy that they're good now.
And there is a real aspect. I think often it's easy to talk about. You ride the wave, right? Things are going to be good for a while and bad for a while, and it's very cyclic. And you have to remember the people who design the game also play the game and own these models.
Yeah.
And when some of their favorite model, like, oh man, I haven't played with Zangors in a long time because the rules suck. Maybe we should make the rules not suck. And that's like front of mind. And it's not like they're intentionally making things bad. It's that they only have so much thought to put into everything.
Right.
When it's front of mind, like, oh man, I really haven't played with my Zangors in a long time. Let me go work on their rules.
Yeah. And that's 100% the approach that they're taking. I know very much that the design team is being like, what are people playing? What are they not playing? Luckily, these days, there is a plethora of data available through all the different resources and things like that. And they're looking, they're seeing, it's obviously like, yeah, what's too good, but also just as much like what is not being used, and let's give them a role. So, yeah, Austin, great point. All the chaos now are playable. It's tough to decide which one, frankly, because they're all really cool.
Yeah.
Feel different. So we got BAO next weekend. I'm going to take the Death Guard. But then after that, I think I'm going to work on my Emperor's Children. I think it's cool. It's unfortunately, I think, the least deep of the 4 books, but I love them. So cool. What's up, Tea Time with Toby? Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
Hopefully life's been good. Yeah. Slaanesh isn't playable outside of EC, unfortunately. Yeah, they did get hit quite hard. But again, ups and downs. We'll see. They were too good, and maybe they're too bad. So let's dive into some of the detachments. We haven't had too much of a chance to talk about them, and I don't even know how much you've seen all of them. So it's a good chance to do that. Again, folks, apologies. Our physical book was lost. So in the warp, let's go through the detachments. We'll be pretty quick with the Grand Coven because we did just play a game with them. This is the index detachment, but as with the other ones, they've kind of reworked them a bit. So you have your start of battle round abilities are now start of command phase abilities, anyways, your army-wide ability.
Yep.
And trying not to focus so much on what things were in the past.
Sure.
Command phase, you pick an ability. It's basically a doctrine. It's only once per game each. They give army-wide abilities, in this case, that only affect psychic. So you got +6 inch range for your psychic. You've got +1 to wound with your psychic. You've got dev wounds with your psychic. Similar to what it was, but you cannot repick them. So that's a big limiting factor. They've got some great enhancements here. You've got +6 inch range to ritual. You've got double doom bolt, pretty spicy. It's only on the exalted sorcerer, so you got to figure that out. And the double doom bolt is once per game. The Umbrellific Crystal remains uppy downy. It is command phase, can't do it in engagement range. And then, of course, the classic Vortex, I was surprised to see survived. +1 strength, +1 damage for psychic weapons. So this is your infernal master 2 damage flamer, basically. Remains like every time. I take that for sure. If I have points for the rest, I'll take them. Umbrellific Crystal probably next. Strat-wise, it's a pretty good range of things. So here's a classic example of anti-psyker tech that sucks. You can make one of your enemy units' psychic weapons have hazardous in the shooting phase, and you get a feel the pain against the psychic attacks. Super niche. When you use it, it'll be great. Most of the time, you're not going to use it. Right? You got the zero out a damage for against a psyker for 1 CP. It's great. This makes this, again, this detachment is probably the best Magnus detachment for all the things we mentioned for this and this next ability, which is egotistical power. You can basically give one of your units the detachment ability for that round. So give Magnus his +1 to wound back, which, spoiler alert, is gone. You have sticky objective holding, which is great because your Zangor's uppy downy now, so you can do that. Should have done that this game. You can re-roll a psychic test, which is awesome. And then last of all, 2 CP, extra 6 inch range on your psychic and full hit and wound rerolls. Great strat. It now is 2 CP and you get a little bit extra range. Good compromise for something that probably should have always been 2 CP. That's good. This is like a great solid all-arounder. If I had a complaint about this book, it would be this. There's a demon detachment, there's a vehicle detachment, there's a Zangor detachment, and then you have only 2 kind of regular mainline detachments. And I wish there was like 1 more. Someone pointed out this is very much how the books are now.
Do it now, yeah.
So I'm a little bit bummed, but
I think World Leaders have a pretty similar sentiment of there is an 8-bound detachment, there is a vehicle detachment, there is a cultist detachment, there's a demon detachment, and there's a regular like berserker detachment.
Exactly.
And because the regular berserker one modifies everybody's stat lines, the whole book is balanced around that detachment, which makes the other ones feel a little.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that happens. You know, with Emperor's Children, they I think are more generalizable, but there's just a clearly stronger option.
Right.
The Death Guard, I still think is probably the best book in the sense that they actually have the most diverse. Yes, there's a Poxwalker detachment, but you still want to run other stuff. And obviously there's a demon detachment, but they kind of have more flexibility in like going across detachments. Right. So just a thought about that. So that is the index. Here, I'll pull chat up on the side.
Yes.
Let me do a refresh, just make sure, because sometimes when we do that, it lags chat. Perfect. 2CP is super hard with no CP regeneration, though. Yeah, no, for sure.
Fine. Like, that's a game-changing ability. Reroll all hits and wounds and getting plus 6 inches. That should be a once or twice per game thing.
Yeah.
You should not be doing that every turn.
That was the problem, is at 1 CP, you would do it every single turn. Yeah. So 1 CP is way too expensive. 2 is punishing, but that's the point. I think you cannot have this strat for less than 2 CP.
And arguably, honestly, because the doctrines in this book, or in that detachment, are so altering to the army, you will, every turn, you're going to put something in a doctrine.
Yeah, for sure. And like 1 CP for +1 to wound, great.
Is that bad design? Stratagem that you're intended to use every single turn?
Maybe. Yes.
Is that
it kind of is bad design.
Is that bad design?
It is.
Is that?
It is. Now, I appreciate that both of these things require psychic weapons.
Sure.
So again, I tried the Demon Prince. I don't think I got a good measure of him, but I took him because all of his things are psychic, just like Magnus, all those things are psychic. So it determines that. The other thing is, of course, remember the new rituals. One of them is rerolls to hit.
Yep.
So you don't necessarily need that ability all the time in this detachment, because you're also +1 to wound, reroll hits. It's less essential than it was before.
Yeah.
So just a thought. So going straight down the list, the next one in the book is the Change Host, which I think many people are saying it's the one kind of dud. It's weird. This is the Demon Detachment. And so like all the current Demon Detachments, it works in a way in which your 1,000 Suns units give buffs to your Tzeentch demons and vice versa. And at that face value, they are good, maybe. So your demons give your 1,000 Suns Psyker units 4+ invulns against ranged attacks. Pretty interesting. The Terminators already have it, so really you're giving your rubrics, because it's Psyker units. You could potentially have...
I feel like all your characters already have it. Oh, Zangors
it's for the whole unit.
With the Shaman?
And your rubrics are at 5. So there is a character that gives you a 4-up, but that's... You're not getting other things. You're not getting lethal. You're not getting whatever.
This is interesting.
And then the demons, or the other way is your 1,000 Suns give your demons the Cabal of Sorcerer's ability, which is less strong, because here's the thing. What that means is they can cast the rituals, they can use the rituals, but they don't benefit from them. If they benefited from them, this would become overnight much more interesting.
Right.
Like, Fate Weaver is good, and the points here, I think, are quite cheap for him, but outside of Fate Weaver, I'm like not enthused about taking those casters.
Yeah, this is like a non-ability, because you're already casting all 4 of your rituals every turn.
Yes.
Like, you weren't limited on your ability to cast rituals. And I think the World Eaters have a pretty similar problem with this detachment for them, where it's very one-sided.
Exactly.
Only one side is actually getting the benefit. Yeah. And a lot of the strats, I'm sure when we go to the strats, a lot of the strats are going to be like, jump through 15 hoops. To kind of get a benefit.
Because that's how they've been writing these demon detachments, which is a bummer. And I think, honestly, outside of the Slanesh and Khorne ones are awesome. The Nurgle one and the Tzeentch ones, not a big fan. So let's take a look. Yeah, half your force can be demons. We've got the 4 enhancements. 1,000 Suns or Lord of Change model only. You can force a battle shock on an enemy unit within 12. And if they fail, they take 3 flat mortal wounds. Honestly, if you have extra points, it's kind of cute. It is in shooting phase, so you can move up. You can pop battle shock so that they don't get strats, but it's very swingy. So whatever. There's one that gives your demons +1 to their rituals when they're next to this character. Cool. You probably need to take this one, frankly, because if you're taking demons, you have less points for the things that give you the +1s to cast. You have a redeploy. Nah. You have, and then last of all, this one actually is pretty fun. 1,000 Suns Infantry once per battle gets a 2-up invuln for the save. It's funny, but it's a meme, because it's only infantry, it's only 1,000 Suns. So for me, this is an Exalted Sorcerer on disc.
And you have to do a start a phase. It's not even when they're targeted.
Yeah. So it's like your stupid run-around character who's just going to become unkillable for a phase. So like pretty underwhelming, right?
Yeah.
Strat-wise, this is -1 to be hit for Demon or 1,000 Suns. Cool. What is
Hey,
it?
you don't have to jump through a bunch of hoops for that.
It's just do it.
Wow. I
know.
thought it would be like
Next to each
a
other.
Thousand Suns unit next to a demon unit.
Yeah.
Which one to hit?
I feel like it's how the Emperor's Children one is worded.
Yeah.
Then, what is this? 2 CP. Fight phase. Basically, enemy models that can fight a demon have to fight a demon. This one I think is one of the more interesting ones because you have units like Rubrics that are kind of fragile. And if you had like blue horrors, I don't know if pink horrors are quite worth it. You can do weird things where you can kind of keep them next to each other and then intervene in. It is only models that are eligible, but I'm picturing this specifically for intervening. Tag them up, force them to not fight your Thousand Suns. 2CB is very steep, but like it at least makes me think about the game in a different way.
It feels like a Slanesh ability to me, not...
Yeah, it's like kill us,
right?
You know,
Fight
no.
me!
What if you attacked us? Ethereal Phantasm is 1 CP, and this is genuinely good. This is a reactive move. So it's D6 reactive move for a Demon's unit or a flat 6 if they're within 6 of a Thousand Suns unit. Genuinely good. You can screen with your Demon's unit.
Yeah.
You can reactive move them back. That's cool.
Great.
What is this? Fractal Disjunction for a CP. Loan up 18 inches for a Demon's unit other than monsters.
Oh.
Which is kind of what you want it for.
That's the only thing you wanted it on.
Yeah. So you had me for a second, then you lost me. And then we have -2 to charge, which is...
That's interesting.
Thousand Suns or Legions. Yeah. So
that's interesting.
I wanted to take this detachment against you today because I thought it would be interesting. I just wasn't compelled enough overall. I felt like I wanted to show people another one I was more interested in.
Yeah.
But I think there's some cool applications here.
There's something there.
And then finally we have Uppy Downy for 2 Legions, not monsters, or 1 Legion monster. And you can Uppy Downy. So like there's actually decent strats in here. I think the main issue is the detachment ability doesn't benefit the demons. And you're almost better served just taking Thousand Suns.
Yep.
Like if they benefited, transformative.
Yeah, I could see this getting played where you take like 1,600 points of Thousand Suns and like a Lord of Change.
Yeah.
And some people want to play that way.
Yeah. I'd take Karis. He's still a CP generator, and he has Effect. And he's pretty cheap. He's got Indirect, you know?
So Green Elf is saying half your army doesn't get an army rule in that detachment, only if half your army is demons. that's the thing I'm wising up to here is like, oh, what if I just use this to bring a single big demon? Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, honestly. So that's the Demons detachment. Disappointing. But the rest are cool. Cool. Moving on, we got the Warp Meld Pact. This is the Zangor detachment. So again, full disclosure, we mentioned this in the game stream. The points that we currently have for the Enlightened, which is the discs, are way too cheap for 6 of them. Holding reservation until we get confirmation on the final points. It feels like a typo kind of thing.
Yep.
So we'll see. Having said that, even if that's as we think it should be, it's still going to be a strong detachment. So what this does is basically you have Tzeentch mutants, and this is going to be, of course, your Zangors. It's also, however, going to be your Mutalith Vortex beasts, which is important.
Yes.
So whenever someone targets your mutants in the shooting or the fight phase, you can have your unit take D3 mortal wounds. Woof. Sounds bad. They are then, though, unequivocally -1 to be wounded. So this can take people to wounding on 5s to 6s.
Yeah.
It makes your big bricks of things really tough. And of course, you have either lots of wounds to soak up the mortals, or you're a Mutalith Vortex Beast, which means on average you're taking like only 1 or 2 wounds here because you have a feeling of pain. Offensively, you can take D3 mortal wounds in order to get +1 to wound, which is pretty bananas.
Yep.
So an amazing detachment ability. Sounds like a steep price until you think about the units that you're doing it on, and then it's not so bad.
Yeah.
Your Zangors also gain Battle Line and +1 OC while they're not battle shocked. Smart. Which is great. So they go up to OC2 again, which is awesome. Enhancement-wise, we've got a dagger that does, again, D3 mortal wounds for +1 to cast. Ooh, don't know about that one. The Diamond of Distortion is fantastic, though.
It's +1 to cast for each mortal wound you take, which is so
Oh,
weird.
okay. I'm on board, actually.
No, that's so weird.
The problem is it's the bearer. Your psychic test when you perils, it's the unit, but this is the bearer. Which also means if you have a wounded model and you take wounds, then he has to die.
And this is the Zangor Shaman.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have that many wounds to begin with.
No, he's got like 4, right?
Yeah.
No, Dagger says
The bearer suffers.
the bearer.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So Diamond of Distortion,
Yeah.
Zangor Shaman, while he's leading a unit, they get -1 to be hit. So you
That's great.
stack that with -1 to wound
Yep.
on 20 Zangors,
Exactly.
who already have an invuln. Like, the thing that makes this detachment good when compared to the Poxwalker detachment, when compared to the totally not cultist World Leader detachment, when compared to the cultist detachment in Slaanesh, the ability that we're giving really synergizes with the unit that we're giving it to, and it also has a really good other unit that serves an opposite role that we're still giving rules to. I think the fact that this includes the Mutilith Vortex Beast is what makes it so much better than the other detachments.
Exactly. Exactly. With Bodyguard, you still kill the Bodyguard first through normal wound allocations rules, though. Is that true? I don't think so.
No, when it says allocate wounds to the bearer takes the wounds.
Oh, you're talking about that thing. Yeah, no.
Like the knife set, or the dagger says the bearer takes the wounds. Yes, you do still put regular wounds on the Bodyguard, because Bodyguard has to take wounds first.
Has to?
Yeah.
Even if you have a wounded character?
Yeah. It's just you assign wounds to the Bodyguard until they're dead, and then...
Okay.
But he gets to do this like max twice.
Okay. Okay.
And then
okay,
he's
okay.
dead.
Yeah. But you know, it's good clarification, because I was thinking it worked differently. Gotcha. Easy to precision, but not normal wounds. Okay. Yeah, fair, fair, fair. And yeah, if you do this twice, you likely die. Okay. Bray Lord, Sorcerer or Infernal Master, they get Scout 6 and can join Zangors, which is cool. So Sorcerer gives lethal hits. Infernal Master gives sustained hits. I'm into it. How do I...
It's just like the kind of ability where you ask yourself, like, why did they want this?
Should this be allowed?
Like what?
Bray Lord just sounds sick.
What is their angle here? what are we? We're cooking here.
It's very cool. I'm also now Infernal Master with +1 to wound. Oh, what's the Sorcerer spell? I forget. The normal Sorcerer spell. I feel like they modified a lot of the shooting attacks, and I'm like more excited about them. The Sorcerer spell is 6 attacks, sustain 3. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's that one. Pandemonic Delusion.
Sustain 3.
Yeah, and he is the best day ever, which is funny, in melee. So that's pretty sick. Flowing Flesh. Zangor Shaman, the bearer has a feel no pain 4+ and a wound of 5. Meh. I don't know why
If
you're
you
doing
could
this.
take this and the dagger, let's go back.
Yeah.
Let's go back 6 years to Warlord Traits and Relics. Now
we're
we're
good.
talking. That's a
Exactly.
combo nation.
Exactly.
But no, on its own, this is terrible.
Right?
Yes. The diamond is insane.
And we'll get to the final piece of the diamond combo in a minute. So the gift of change, 1 CP, any phase. This is... Oh, this one's funny. So if they kill one of your characters that's not a monster, so not Magnus, you can make a spawn. You can set it up as close as possible, not within engagement range of them. So that's cute. Once per battle round, get a free unit that can do actions.
Why? Oh, it's
Why?
a unit. Cast 1 units. You get 2 spawn. If you get 1 spawn, it's like, why?
No. One containing 1 model.
Okay, why?
Why?
Back to why. Why?
Why? You get an
Like
extra
they
unit.
shoot you off an objective. That's when you use this?
No, it's good. It's good.
It?
They shoot you off an objective. You stay alive.
Yeah.
They fight you. You've sent something in. They kill your thing. You get a character.
You get a spawn.
You get a spawn.
Yeah, you get 1.
I think it's good.
You get 1 spawn.
I think it's situational, but it's good.
I think that it's nice
For units are always good.
when they shoot you off an objective. That's great.
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
Or like, no, because if you were doing an action and you died, you're not doing
no,
an action.
this is not the
spawn's
same.
still not doing the
It's
action.
not the same person.
Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
There's not many things like this in the game.
It's for sure weird.
It's weird.
It's awesome. I'm on board for it. Warped Vicissitude, here it is, 1 CP, shooting or fight phase. Zangor gets a 4+ invulnerable save. Which, by the way, I totally was rolling 5s in our last game. They died every time they fought, but it's a 6-up invul normally. So going to a 4-up is huge. Big.
Yeah, that's a huge jump.
So Big block, 4 up invuln, -1 to be hit, -1 to be wounded. It's spicy.
Yeah.
Deranged Ferocity, 1 CP. This is a classic. Long pile in, long consolidate, always good. This is, again, Tzeentch mutants, so even your Vortex Beast can do it.
Yep.
Blessed Transformation. This is pick a Psyker and a friendly Zinger within 12. D3+1 guys back. Oh, it's good.
Now this can't target Enlightened, can it? Can you get D3+1 Enlightened back?
No, it's Zangors explicitly.
Zangor's unit,
It's-
not... Okay.
Well, yeah, I assume they don't have that keyword.
Well, it's,
Zangors is a keyword now that I'm realizing. But let me double check.
why is this world?
Because the detachment ability says Zangors like that.
Right.
And
Oh.
Enlightened, yeah, they don't have it.
Okay. Got it.
They made it weird by making Zangors a keyword, but they could have just used the name and not the keyword. So anyways, yeah, you're returning D3+1 Zangors.
Okay.
In your command phase too. So classic stealing stuff away,
Time to do
get
it.
your primary.
Yeah.
It's an awesome ability. And then Touched by Tzeentch, movement phase, advance and charge, advance, shoot and charge. It's
Any
great.
mutants, that could be a Vortex Beast. Nice.
And then Twisted Mirage for a CP. Mutant, this one's funny. This is Close Deep Strike. Wait, hold on, let me see.
What?
Oh, it's Close Deep Strike with Zangors, or just Deep Strike with Monster, is basically what it is. So they're in reserve. You can bring them in anywhere on the table, 6 away from enemies, and if they are the Vortex Beast, anywhere 9 away. So,
Okay.
pretty sweet.
Okay.
Doesn't work you cannot do it with Rapid Ingress because it's in reinforcement step of your movement phase.
Right.
So honestly, it's a cool detachment.
Yeah. I like it.
It seems strong. It feels like a different way to play the army. And I like it. So we just clear up the points on the Enlightened and we're good to go.
Yeah.
Yes, these are all 1 CP strats, sorry.
That's odd.
Yeah.
Although I don't see any that I would make 2 CP.
No. Yes, I think someone maybe was just asking. Yeah. Low-key sticky objective strat. Yeah, exactly. That's what Bridger was saying, basically, if they're trying to shoot you off. Cool. Rubric Phalanx. I really like this detachment, and I like it for a couple reasons. And again, it's a good example to bring up when we're talking about good detachment design. As Bridger said, the last detachment is great because it combos with multiple units, it works with good units, etc., etc. The Rubric Flanks, my first concern is like, cool, it's the Rubric Marine Detachment. But appropriately, it's basically anything that is dust. It's all the automata. So they've given the Rubric keyword to the Occult Terminators, which makes sense. And now this is a detachment that works on most of your army, and not just one unit.
Yeah.
So it's great. The detachment rule is situational, so don't be led astray by it. It's kind of the old Rubric
It's all
rule.
as dust.
It's all as dust.
Yeah.
Basically, if one of your Rubric units is attacked by a weapon with damage of 1, you get to add 1 to your armor saving throws. Very strong against certain weapons. It is not going to come up all the time.
You know what they like?
Yeah.
Giga Brain. They thought 5 steps ahead.
Yeah.
This does not, because this used to be reduce 1 AP.
It did, yeah, exactly.
This functionally different in a couple ways. One, ignoring modifiers does not care. Like
Right.
you're still getting your +1 save.
Yep.
Because you're not reducing their AP.
Exactly.
But also, this is like super cover. This takes your regular rubrics to a 2-up. Which regularly cover can't do. And
Correct.
reducing AP by 1 also could not do.
Yep.
So this is great.
It's very, very good, right? Yeah, so it's a solid start. Again, it's not going to come up all the time, but the rest of the detachment makes it worthwhile. Yeah, 1-up Terminators is amusing, for sure. All right, let's take a look. So enhancements-wise, we've got Risen Rubric, which lets you have 2 Rubric Marines or 1 Terminator unit infiltrate. Amazing. Again, we are still relatively slow, so being able to start up the board is huge. I like it on the rubrics because you can just ingress the Terminators.
Yep.
That's great. Then we have Arcane Thralls. It's an aura. Reroll battle shocks for your Rubric within 9. Whatever. Who cares? This next one's great. Lord of the Rubric. Rubric, the unit that they're leading is +1 to hit. So again, I put this on Terminators because they're not a Flamer squad.
That's crazy.
Hitting on 2s. Now with your even on a minimal ritual, you're rerolling and you have lethal. It's great. That's that. And then Staff Abominus is cute. Infantry unit gets sustained D3 and devastating in melee.
His attacks
His model.
get sustained D3
Yeah.
and devastating.
It's cute. You take one of your force weapons and they hit a little bit harder.
Yeah.
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 Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. Unmodified damage, 1 damage, so the strat for -1 damage shouldn't work, which sucks.
No, that is correct, Craig. That's how it should be.
It would be too much.
And that's how it has always been. And that's how it should be.
They did call out that why did you use the wording cause this article specifically said to use this combo. Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Again, their marketing team is not ever in communication with the rules team, and they get stuff wrong all the time.
Yeah, definitely don't take the Warhammer community article to heart. Strats, here we go. Love these strats. Fallback, shoot, and charge.
Yep.
Amazing. One of the best ways to fight Terminators, or Rubrics at least, is to tag them up. We saw that in our last game.
Yep.
A lot of my job was trying to stay not tagged, and a lot of Bridger's job was trying to tag me up.
Yep.
This gets around that. This one I also absolutely love 1 CP. Again, Assault. It's amazing. It's huge. Use that in the pre-recorded. Magnus can also give +2 movement to a Psyker unit.
Oh, and you ignore all modifiers to move in advance.
Yes.
Wow.
So you can just shoot across the field and just run and gun, which is fantastic. Infernal
I
Fusillade.
will take offense. Inexorable Advance, the name of that stratagem? That is a Death Guard rule.
TM.
Okay.
TM.
You can't have that one.
It's awesome. It's so flexible. We're fast now, sorry.
Yep.
Not you.
Yep.
And then Infernal Fusillade, this makes it so that your Infernal bolt guns have the psychic ability and strength of 5. So what does this mean? It's 2 CP, it's very expensive. Strength of 5, cool.
Makes them psychic, though. So they're +1 to wound, and strength of 5 is essentially almost always +1 to wound as well.
No, they're not +1 to wound. That's a detachment ability now. Rituals are your army ability. So why?
What? Isn't your ritual +1 to wound with
No,
psychic?
no, it's reroll hits. Yeah,
Oh,
That was
the +1 to
detachment.
wound was the
the detachment.
yeah, the protocol.
Right?
Yeah, okay.
So why make them psychic? Maybe someone knows in chat. Because this is 2 CP for this.
What cares about psychic?
I don't know. I'm really struggling to think about it.
Rhino gives +1 to wound? Does the Rhino...
The Rhino does get +1 to wound. Okay, yeah. Rhino. Yeah,
Rhino
of course,
cares about
Rhinos.
psychic weapons?
Yeah, it's like fire support, but only for psychic weapons,
Why?
which is pretty underwhelming outside of this specific strat.
That's... Okay, that guy has a silly head.
The bird head, yeah.
Yeah, that's...
I think a lot of the new Demon Prince heads are kind of silly. Yeah.
Psychic attacks, +1 to hit and wound when you get out of a Rhino.
Okay.
Now, they should...
Oh,
now,
hit and wound?
Yeah, +1 to hit and wound for psychic attacks when you get out of a Rhino.
That's how they're trying to make the bolters worth it. But the bolters aren't psychic by default. You have to spend 2 CP in this one detachment.
2 CP?
I'll be honest, this should be 1 CP.
2 CP?
Yeah. You guys were upset about the other one. We're upset about this one.
2 CP?
It's so niche. Just give it for 1 CP. It's fine. It's fine.
What magical Christmas land are you in that this is ever worth 2 command points?
It's not. For 1 CP, I like it. It makes me build my armor in a certain way and blah, blah, blah. For 2 CP, that's Hopium, I think.
Yeah. That seems terrible.
Yeah, everyone's kind of in agreement. It's for Rhinos. It's
But
just
the
not quite worth
Rhino
it.
also means you can't like be a 20-man or something.
I don't think you can 20-man anymore. Not with Rubrics. I don't think that's been a thing this edition. Yeah, anyways, seems underwhelming. Revenge of the Rubric Race sounds promising. This is... So when one of your Psyker units is destroyed, you pick a Rubric within 6. Shoot back.
This is Curse of the Pharaoh. Oh, it's not Curse of the Pharaoh. It's shoot back. Okay.
No, it's not. I thought it was going to be that.
Okay.
It's
I mean,
shoot
it was
back.
set up like Curse of the Pharaoh.
It really was. I think it's good. It obviously is very situational, but out-of-phase shooting is just very, very strong.
I mean, this is like the worst shoot back strat that they've written.
Why? No, it's not.
Because they just don't shoot your character.
Yeah, so they don't want to kill your unit. If you lose a unit is basically what this is.
Yeah, but the rest of the shoot back strats are like, oh, you shot me, I shoot you.
Yeah, but this could be a different unit. Right?
But you just shoot the unit that was going to shoot back at you.
Maybe you don't want to. You have...
This seems to me like the worst shoot back strat. It is 1
Yeah.
CP, it's not 2. And you are shooting a full ballistic skill. But
Yeah.
they just don't have to kill your psychers.
I won't defend it too much.
Yeah, like they could just choose not to kill your psychers, and then the strat does nothing.
And you got to see it on the tabletop.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all. That's my concession. Bridger, you're bridgering. Is he bridgering? I think he makes a valid
I
point.
feel like I'm always bridging.
Implacable Guardians, 2 CP, -1 damage, only in the shooting phase. Again, this is big. This is important. 2 CP is totally fair. So, and this is only Rubric Marines, not Terminators, luckily. And it's -1 damage, but not for Psycho models. So by the time you get down to the character, then they just die, which is a weird addition. So yeah.
If you kill the Aspiring Sorcerer model, so they shoot at your 10 mana Rubric, you kill your Aspiring Sorcerer, then it activates the shoot back strat, which means it's quite good. Because he has the Psyker keyword. You just have to lose a Psyker model.
Oh, it's Psyker model.
Yeah. So you kill your Aspiring Sorcerer.
Yeah.
And then you can shoot back with anything within 6.
Yeah,
Now that's good. That's a huge difference.
It
from
is
like,
different.
did they kill a character
Yeah.
in shooting? Because
Yeah.
I mean, how often do you have 2 units next to each other, one as a character, they shoot all the way through one of the units and kill the character, and you're wanting to shoot back with the second unit that's next to the character? Like that doesn't happen. But they shoot your rubrics, they kill the Aspiring Sorcerer because you pull him first.
If
You shoot back.
it's still a steep price. Losing your 1 Psyker that unlocks all of your other strats and abilities is still pretty steep.
But presumably, you could have another Psyker. You could have an actual Sorcerer in the unit. So then you pull the Aspiring Sorcerer.
Yeah.
You lose his Force Stave.
Yeah, and you lose a ritual.
It's a real price.
It's a real price, yeah.
But it's also 1 CP. It's not 2.
You know what?
Normally you pay 2 to
1 CP.
shoot back on full BS.
That's true. That's true.
And this you could shoot back with some other guy next
Yeah.
door. Some
yeah.
your little beep boop robots.
I think it is fine, just situational.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's much better than my initial evaluation.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, -1 damage. Pretty good, right? Pretty good. I didn't get to use it in the pre-recorded because Mel only had 3 damage guns. And I had no opportunity for it. Unwavering Phalanx, last strat, 1 CP. This one is Rubric Marines after being charged, basically, can be -1 to wound. Again, situational, but great. -1 to wound is awesome.
Really good.
Yeah. Like, be tougher, hang in there. Next turn, you do Ardent Automata to fall back and shoot and charge.
Well, I mean, there's just so many layers here. Like,
Yeah.
in combat, they're attacking you with probably 1 damage weapons, because most weapons are. So you're -1 AP, you can be -1 to wound, and then you can fall back and shoot. Like, this is great.
Right. Ooh, Shane McGarry, good point. Exalter Sorcerer revives 1 model, which could be the Sorcerer model. That's cool. You didn't know that.
There is some technology.
You did not.
There
You
is
didn't
some
know that.
technology here.
Oh, wow.
I don't like that they have 2 CP strats, and I think Infernal Fusillade, just, there's no reason for
That's a miss. It should be 1 CP. And then I would consider taking bolters.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. If you take bolters, it's because you want to take a rhino. And if you take a rhino, you're not infiltrating them. And the squads, the prices as we've seen them are quite reasonable. But still, your army fills up really quick.
Yep.
If I want 2 10-mans with a character infiltrating and I want a Terminator squad, that was basically my pre-recorded list. It fills up fast.
Yep.
So I like that this is a detachment. I like that some of the strengths that propose problems. So you infiltrate, that makes you more susceptible to getting tagged. There are solutions for that. You have to spend resources for it, but there are solutions.
Yep.
So I really like this detachment, honestly. I think it's really fun. There's a reason that I wanted to play it first and then the other one second.
Yep.
Totally. Moving on down, this one is the Forge Cabal, which I'm a little bit mad about. I'm mad about this. Okay?
Mad?
I'll tell you why. There's 2 reasons. One, it's a vehicle detachment. I don't really care about vehicles in Thousand Suns.
I like how there's no vehicles in the picture.
No.
Oh, in the back, there's a Land Raider.
Hey.
In the back.
These guys are vehicles.
You guys can't see that, but
They're
vehicles?
Yeah, they're robots. You almost made me do a swear there. Jeez. They're robots. What do you expect?
I don't know. You think of the word vehicle, you think like
Robots?
something I could get inside of, like a car.
Like a Forge Fiend or a Help Mauler Fiend?
Yeah, or those could be monsters. Same, like it's big enough. There could be a guy riding around in there. I don't think of like little robot people as vehicles.
We did talk about the demons. You'll have to scroll back a little bit for that. No. Yeah, Yusuf, you're gonna make me mad too. Just talking about how many vehicles they have. The Thousand Sons. Do you know they have all the vehicles and Vindicators? They got Vindicators, Bridger. Why? Why? I know it's probably a good detachment, but it makes me mad because it also focuses on units that I don't like.
They're not Thousand
They're
Sons.
not Thousand Sons. I like the robots. I'm a convert. I'm sorry. Anyways, that's my first thing.
You
I don't
like the robot rules. I don't know if you like the robots.
So I painted them up in like a proper scheme, and I was like, okay, they're better.
They're fine.
But the rules are what makes them
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
For sure. The other thing that makes me mad is this detachment rule, which is just Mastercrafted back, which is the most lame rule ever. That slows the game down, and it creates skewed detachments and rules. Let's talk about it. So each time a Thousand Sons vehicle from your army is selected to shoot or fight, you can choose one of the following. If they are within 6 of a Thousand Sons Psyker, you can reroll a hit, a wound, and a damage. Otherwise, it's just a hit, a wound, or a damage. So spiking big value shots.
This makes me angry.
Right? If you're near Psyker, it's really good. Yeah, no, it's great. And then, what is this? Oh yeah, you can explode. I actually don't think it's optional. I think it's just you have to automatically.
Is destroyed while within 6.
You explode on 5.
Inflicts. Oh, okay.
But only when you're next to your friends. That's weird.
I've wanted explode on 4s and explode on 5s in this edition. This is not how I wanted it.
Yeah.
Like that rule just seems bad.
It's
like
just,
actively bad.
That's really weird. Willow. Mastercrafted is good, undoubtedly. We're not saying it's bad. We're saying it's too good.
It's bad for the game.
Bad for the game. Okay, so that's attachment ability. It's great. Warps enhancements. Warp Siphon. I'll be honest. I read this detachment the least because I just got so mad. Warp Siphon, Thousand Sons model when they're within 6 of a Thousand Sons vehicle.
If you would perils, instead the vehicle takes 1.
And you can reroll the extra dice. This is the biggest argument for the extra dice being afterwards.
Why would
It's pretty compelling evidence.
Yeah, but why would they even write a rule that does this?
What do you mean?
No, the first half, like, cool, great. Yeah,
Yeah.
instead of perils, you put it on a vehicle. Cool.
Yeah.
Why did they staple on, and this is clearly added after the fact.
Yeah.
It is the last, like, 8 words, and it's out of nowhere.
You're
It's
saying
just like, they wrote the rule, and they were like,
You're crazy.
is that good enough? Like, instead of perils, it takes 1 mortal? I don't know. What if they could just reroll
Reroll it.
specifically this 3rd die? Not any die.
Yeah.
You have to reroll the 3rd die.
Actually, you know what? It doesn't make me 100% convinced that you roll them. It tells me they want us to roll it separately, but maybe still at the same time.
This is dumb. This makes me angry. This rule makes me angry.
I think the extra rule was stapled
Friday
on.
meeting versus the following Monday. Yeah, we played it over the weekend. It just didn't seem very good because I didn't perils at all.
Yeah.
So, what if we could just reroll it?
Oh, it's so true.
It's like after you perils,
yeah.
you can reroll specifically that die.
I don't like it. I don't like this. I don't like any of it. I don't like, even if you roll the extra dice afterwards, I don't like that you have like these 2 dice that you're keeping separate and then there's another dice there. Ugh.
This rule causes problems.
Right. Psychic test sequence. Roll 2d6. If 1 or more doubles or triples will roll. The problem is they only use pictures and they don't use words.
We've graduated backwards to kindergarten.
They've only used, I don't know,
This
folks.
is dumb.
Again, I still don't know. I'm trying to see it the other way, and I understand how you could see it that way, so that's why I'm not faulting anyone. But I just don't know. Anyways, we're getting off topic. Warp Siphon.
I hate this
It's pretty dang good.
I hate this.
It's dumb, but it's good. Perplexing Cloak. This basically makes you a tech marine. If you're next to a vehicle,
I
blown
love
up.
that.
That's
That's
fun.
great.
Biomechanical mutation, very cool name. Command phase, vehicle within 6. It makes you the other half of a tech marine.
By our powers combined,
Yeah!
we can have tech marines back.
And then Warp Curse Rune Master. This is, if you're next to a vehicle, you get extra 6 range on the ritual. That's cool. I like it.
Oh,
Thematic and strong, frankly.
interesting.
Because the rituals, I believe, are all 24 inches. So going to the 30 is cute. All right, let's take a look at these strats. Here we go. 1 CP, vehicle units, armor contempt.
God,
That's good.
why is this the best attachment?
It's good.
Why are they doing this?
I don't want to play vehicles.
Why?
Mutate Landscape 1 CP, sticky objective, and it's booby trapped.
Yeah, it's booby trapped. On a 4-up, they take D3 mortals when they charge onto it.
Or
Or
normal,
move on.
or advance,
Yeah,
or fall back.
Yeah, so it's
So if they go into with multiple units,
Pretty good.
it can trigger multiple times until they flip it. Okay. Sticky with upside is good. Armor contempt is good. 1 CP Cyber Spirit Machinations. Pick a after you're falling back. Yeah, shoot and declare shoot, fall back, shoot, and charge if you are within 6 inches of a psyker. That's good.
okay. Yeah,
That's good.
this is the best attachment.
1 CP Malevolent Animus. Your command phase a vehicle within 6 of a Thousand Sun Psyker. They become malevolent. While the unit is malevolent, yeah, that's it. You ignore all modifiers.
Yeah.
Cool.
Uh-huh.
So ignore modifiers. Seems pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Including bracketing.
Yep.
Ensorcelled Infusion 1 CP. Shooting phase a vehicle unit. Thousand Suns unit within 6. Or Psyker within 6. Your vehicle... Here we go. You get Psychic. And you get +1 to wound.
For 1 command point. The last one, we get Bolter Psychic. It costs 2 command points. And it doesn't even do anything unless you have a Rhino.
Why? Why?
Why is this the best attachment?
And then finally, Warp Flame Gargoyles, 1 CP, opponent's charge phase. Oh no. After an enemy ends a charge, vehicle.
You tank shock them.
You tank shock.
Oh, you grenade shock them.
It's a grenade shock.
6 dice, 5-up mortals.
And they take a battle shock. Why is it so good? All these strats
Why
are
is this
so
the best
good.
attachment? And they're all 1 CP.
And they're all vehicles.
It's just going to be Leaf Blower Thousand Suns. It's going to be Vehicle Leaf Blower Thousand Suns.
Oh, you know what this makes me want to do? 12 robots. Let's go. Let's go.
I mean, like, the optimal list is going to be like 2 Vindicators, Magnus, some characters that stand next to them in Tech Marine, 2 Predators. What are the rules on the Predators? They have cool Predator
yeah,
rules.
that's what I want to look up. Again, and I just don't like, I don't want to play vehicles in this. Okay. So the Destructor,
That's the laser one.
this is the autocannon one.
Names are backwards.
Right. Basically your Psychers, you know how normally this unit buffs up your other units? Your other units buff up this unit.
Oh, good.
So if you target a non-monster, non-vehicle that was hit by a psychic attack, +1 strength and +1 AP. So that takes your autocannon that's meant to kill infantry up to strength 10 and AP 2.
And 3 damage because it's an autocannon?
And 3 damage because it's autocannon.
Wow.
Yep. The Annihilator, which is the last cannon variety, when you target a monster or vehicle that was hit by a psychic attack, reroll 1 hit, 1 damage. So combo with this, you're rerolling 2 hits, 2 hits, 1 wound, and 2 damage. Oh, I'm sorry. No, this is full. This is full hit and full damage rerolls. Okay, don't like that. Vindicator has the Vindicator rule.
Yeah. People are saying AP2 heavy bolters. Are there any other weird profile changes?
AP2 heavy bolter. Are they?
This is like a warp
They have
heavy bolter?
Inferno heavy bolters that start at AP2, going to AP3 with this, going to AP5 with the ritual.
Well, we're getting to silly numbers at that point. That's not. Oh. But so it's like 2. I'm thinking like 2 Vindicators, 2 Destructors, Magnus, some scoring, probably some robots for infiltrate, a couple of characters, right? That's like the list that you're gonna see everywhere, and it's gonna be like Magnus shoots a thing. It's psychic. It turns on one of the destructors. Him and the destructor will kill anything. And then one of your tech marine guys will just mind blast whoever, it doesn't matter, and the other destructor shoots that thing in the time.
What you do is you make it a exalted sorcerer. Does he have infantry keyword? If you do, you take him because he's got the 18-inch shot that also slows people.
Yep.
And he can be lone op.
They're saying check the defiler. Oh, Doombolt activates because it's a psychic. Yep. Okay.
Doombolt.
So you don't even have to shoot your blame blast. You shoot the.
Let's look at now the defiler. If the defiler's good, I'm back on board. Okay.
What? How can you be on board for this? This is leaf blower nonsense. This is the kind of stuff we've been having in competitive 40k.
That's true.
For a decade.
That's it. I'm on board. Let's go. No, honestly, what it comes down to is model collections and having to build and paint stuff and run around. Like for Thousand Suns, there's the things I want to build and paint for Thousand Suns and the things I don't want to. Like I want to leave my Predators, my Vindicators, and my whatever for the other armies. Right. I don't even want to do another Forge Fiend, frankly. Like they're so cool and fun and other stuff. Let them have that. It's fine. Okay, unless we're giving them to Emperor's Children, then we'll talk. But I don't know. Adrian is nothing if not biased. Yeah, that's fair. All right, Defiler has a 6 of Field of Pain like that. Move over stuff, same as other ones. Destroyer of Futures. That's sick. Don't preview it.
That's a good name.
Each time you target this unit with the fire... Oh. Oh, no.
With Fire Overwatch?
You can Overwatch on 5s. And if the enemy unit is within 9 of a Thousand Sun Psyker, you Overwatch on 4s. Wow.
That's pretty spooky.
That's pretty spooky. It does have a Twin Inferno Heavy Bolter. So that is the extra AP plus its twin and sustained. It fights decent because it's a Defiler, so it's in combat 5 main attacks and 3 smaller attacks.
5 strength 16 las cannon attacks. That's quite good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. That you're going to be rerolling key things on. It's good, man. I don't know what the points are on it, but
they're pretty large.
They're very large, and they're not that fast. They only move 8.
Tend to be expensive. We'll see. I don't think you'll play it in this. Well, you can play it in this detachment. I think the optimal competitive list will not include a Defiler. If you want fancy Overwatch shenanigans, you have the robots with flamers who infiltrate.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Yeah. With this detachment, so generally I like the claws better. So it's claws and baby flamer, or just melt gun. No, because you have the missile racks, and those can already use your rerolls, so you don't need to add. You stick with claws and flamers.
Claw and flamer, I think, is optimal.
Points are pretty cheap. I could pull up the document, take a bit of work. Let us know, folks, if someone has seen someone else say the points. Anyways, back to this detachment. We hate it. It's good.
I hate that it's good. Like, I want them to have a vehicle detachment as an option.
Yeah.
I don't want this to be that vehicle detachment.
Yeah, exactly. 165. Yeah, that's good.
That's not bad for a Defiler.
No.
165?
It just does so much. Frankly, it's the same. Even like in Death Guard, it's similarly priced, and it has ignore cover, and it's good. It's like you could certainly take this. It's just you're competing for so many other things.
Right.
It's
Are you going to take it
similar
over
here.
a Vindicator?
That's the hard part.
Like, you could have a third Vindicator.
I might take it over a Vindicator, to be honest.
You would?
I mean, you have a Defiler cannon, which is already almost the same.
It has an invuln, which is nice.
Yeah. The Defiler cannon is D6 plus 3 blast, strength 10, AP 1 for 3. And you get a 1 bajillion other guns.
It has a feeling pain and
it
an
fights.
invuln.
I'd take this over Defilers. I mean, over Vindicators, actually. I think you swap those.
I'm still on Vindicators.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
I think it's hard to
Yeah.
get past the Vindicator. Like, 2-up armor's real good.
So true. So true. The Helldrake...
The Turkey?
It didn't get the Emperor's Children treatment, as far as I can tell. Didn't get the 2-up save. Still doesn't have OC. So I don't love it. I want to love it. Folks, if they just gave this thing one OC and had the Emperor's Children profile, I'd be on board. So, yeah. Top part is derpy. Oh, yeah. The Defiler's an ancient model.
Yeah.
It's hideous.
Yeah. It's a fantasy model that they just, like, ported to 40k.
No, that's the Soul Grinder. The
There's a
Defiler,
40k model that they ported to fantasy.
the Defiler, yeah, exactly. That's the full robot, which was in
This
Sigmar.
is like this is a thing from fantasy that they just put in. Like it's not literally from the fantasy game.
This is not fantasy.
It is.
The Defiler's not fantasy. No, that's a robot, Bridger. Are you crazy?
Yeah, but it's like
You're just doing it on purpose now. I swear to God.
Hideous robot.
There's no way. Oh, it's definitely hideous.
It's a robot that looks like a guy in really bad armor.
Yeah, it's hideous.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it fantasy.
Like old fantasy models. It's
Wow.
hideous. And it's a guy with a flail for an arm.
It's amazing.
Tell me another 40k model that has a flail.
It's so true. 1993, yes. Yeah, and I think the EC1 got the EC1 has the update. I think all the other Hell Turkeys they didn't get the glow up, unfortunately. So, anyways, yeah, we've gotten questions about data sheets. That's all the detachments. Let's talk about some data sheets. We've generally talked about them as they come up, but I think it's important here. So we're just gonna go by cards. Robots. We like the robots rules-wise. They fulfill a role that the army needs. They're great brawlers.
Yep.
Infiltrate, stealth, free Overwatch. Rubric Marines. The bolters are more interesting, but not interesting enough, we think. Mutalith Vortex Beasts. They're great. They're still as fantastic as ever. Enough said.
Yep.
They give +1 to your rituals, which
No
is
notes.
great. No notes. Infernal Master. Oh, I forgot he can flip a thing to a 6. He is still great because you might always be running the +1 damage detachment. He's not, I don't think he's an auto take anymore. You might take a different character to get a different buff, but he's still fantastic. Terminators, huge glow up.
Great.
The bolters all, like, there is no profile. That's not true. Most of their profiles are at least AP2. The force weapon is AP1. Everything else is 2. They are an unconditional, they are -1 to be wounded as long as you have a psyker in it. So very tough. Very tough.
And the Aspiring Sorcerer is also a psyker. So you can't just
Right.
precision out the character.
Right.
They always have it,
It's amazing.
which is crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, the icon we didn't mention. It's just ignore cover now, which helps the bolters a lot. So this is their other attempt. In my opinion, they had to do this to even make it close, because basically the bolters are AP2 and ignore cover now. The Hell Flamers are AP1 and ignore cover. So you are getting a bit of extra AP out of the bolters now.
Yeah.
The trade-off is you have to roll to hit.
And you get range, so there's like it's a real.
And you have a ritual for reroll hits now.
And you have a stratagem. That's 2 command points.
Yeah.
And it makes your bolters psychic. So
There you go. If you're running bolters, you take the regular sorcerer because he gives you lethal hits. Actually, no, I take it back. The infernal is good there. He's weird because he gives you sustained, but he himself comes with a flamer.
right.
So you're guaranteed an efficiency one way or another. But they're both valid. The Demon Princes, we played with the winged one today, which I think I only like in the Coven detachment because basically all of his things are psychic. And so when you give +1 to wound or devastating, he's going to benefit from that.
Yeah.
We got to try him again. I didn't really get to do him justice. We'll find out. And while we're talking about the winged one, let's talk about the
foot one.
foot one. The foot one has the lone op, just like everyone else, when you're next to infantry. And what was his ability? Oh, it's
Strat
so
discount?
weird. No, he like sucks up your other psychers when they die.
What?
So when a psyker model within 9 dies, you get +1 to his psychic tests, up to +2.
His rituals.
His ritual psychic tests. It's really weird.
That's bad.
Now, what is good about him, though, is thousands of infantry within 6 gains stealth. That's good. So we will experiment with him, but it's not because of his spirit.
Oh, so he doesn't have strat discount.
No. It's pretty interesting.
So there's no strat discount anywhere?
All you can get is Kairos's strat
CP regen. Or like
Actually, no, they
bonus
changed
CP.
it. I think it's now just a leadership check and you gain a CP. So
Right.
It's like a conditional bonus,
So there's no strat discount anywhere. That's weird.
right? Mathhammer says it's almost a wash between flamers and bolters. Yeah, I think that's fair. And if it's a wash, don't you want to overwatch and automatically hit? But there's range. No, it's good.
I think Overwatch
We're
is
close.
pretty compelling.
I still like flamers, but we're in a much better spot, right? Ring Prince with the new Arcane Vortex in Grand Coven seems pretty good. Yeah, the +1 damage is pretty... Oh!
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not pick a weapon, is it? It's just psychic.
It's everything. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, chat, I messed
It's like
up.
my mini Angron. You get
Yeah.
a mini Magnus.
I was so focused on the 2 damage flamer. Where is this thing? Psychic weapons. Yeah, okay. So doubly so you're taking me that detachment. But yeah, no CP refund. So CP I think is maybe one weakness people are talking about on Thousand Suns. A wash meaning flamers are better. Yeah, right? And it makes a sweep 2 damage. Yeah, that's very spicy. Yeah. Exalted Sorcerer, the foot one is the one that gives the 4-up invuln, and he returns models. 1 model unless you spike a 6. So cool, so that's your defensive character. We talked about the Defiler, we talked about the Helldrake. The Zanger Shaman, oh yeah, that's right, he gives them +1 to hit. Pretty sick.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And can kill his own people to give himself extra attacks and strength. And he's not bad, actually. It's a 4 staff, basically.
But in the Zangor detachment, you won't be doing that because...
You're already taking another D3.
Right, you're trying to conserve them.
That's probably true. Is the Demon Prince on foot ability any Psyker? It is any... It's Psyker models, I believe. So not regular guys, but like the Aspiring Sorcerer would generate it. Friendly Thousand Sun Psyker model with the Cabals of Sorcerer ability.
Oh.
Psyker model.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, what we said. So it could be the champions, squad champions.
Aspiring sorcerers.
Aspiring. Yep, that's Zanger Shaman. The Enlightened. Now, a note people are also curious about the Zanger Shaman. On disc has infantry keyword, despite being on a disc.
He's not mounted.
And then the disc guys are mounted.
That's gotta be a typo.
One way or the other.
Presumably the people flying around on something are mounted.
And so he should be
If I had to
mounted.
guess, yeah.
Well, the thing is, I think because he joins Zangors.
That's fine.
You got to go around the walls.
We've done weird stuff like the Juggerlord can join Berserkers.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Why are aspiring?
No. We're not bringing this back in 10th edition.
I'm holding it. I don't want to see the card.
Aspiring sorcerers have an extra wound. Why?
Oh yeah. Oh that.
No. Wait.
Yep. It's back, baby.
Look, Eldar, their whole thing, I don't know if you remember this, their whole thing was that the sergeant is like a character on his own. And they completely lost that. It's 100%
It's gone. It's dead.
And yet, Thousand Suns are like, I don't know, the guy with the pointy hat, give him an extra wound.
Chris, I don't think it's for perils protection because the perils is on the unit.
And a better leadership, what? Why?
Wait, really?
Why is this a thing?
Yeah, it's really weird.
There were so many armies in the game where it was like, yeah, the sergeant has this cool thing.
Yeah.
All of that.
They're
went
all
away.
gone.
All gone.
Even the Admech guys had 2 wounds.
This is a reversal on 10th edition. This is like they're trying to steer the ship. They're like, oh no, the iceberg that we hit an hour ago better start turning. And they're whipping that wheel around. Psychic
so
phase
true.
back. Sergeants are back.
11th is rumbling, it feels like.
Leaf blower vehicle armies are back.
Keystones are just better. Revert to 9th, they did it better.
Oh my god. What are we doing?
You guys really true. Why do you do this to him, Chad? It's not right. It's not right. He's got to watch his blood pressure. Anyways, Zangor Enlightened. They do impact hits now. Pretty sick. So they've separated them out, luckily. This is the Enlightened with bows, Enlightened with discs. They separated them because you would just always take the bows.
So that way you can take 36. His face. Adrian's like, I could take 36
I
Enlightened.
could take it 36. Maybe I need to change my stance on this.
The points are right.
The points are right. We're playing as is. So they do impacts on charges. Other than that, they are, I think, the same. They're Lance and Precision and Melee. Like, they're actually good. Again, we need to see how the points land. The bigger squad is probably a little too cheap right now, but we'll see. We should have a result and answer, honestly, within like a week or two. So, and then the bows are Yeah, 2 shots, strength 5, AP 2 for 2, ignore cover, and they retain their reactive move of a D6.
Precision.
And they have precision still.
That's important.
Which is great. Ignore cover too. So that's some real character sniping right there.
Yep.
I feel like these were AP1 before as well. Weren't they AP1?
I don't remember them being AP2, I'll tell you that.
AP2, ignore cover.
Guy with a bow and arrow. It's not.
It's pretty good. They're hitting on 4s.
What happened to this edition? Right? Like power weapons.
They were AP1, yeah.
Like where
Power weapons used to be a thing?
are AP1 now?
No, they're 2.
Well, they used to be 3, now they're 2. They're
Oh,
on
yeah.
par with a bow and arrow.
It's a fate caster great bow. This is an arrow of fate, Bridger, okay? It was fated. They forged this 1,000 years ago and it was meant for your throat.
Okay, well at the beginning of 10th, AP2 was a big deal. It was like hard to get AP2.
Yeah. No, I know.
Now it's just like, I don't know, the chickens with their
It's random.
Stone Age
It's
weaponry.
random. No, it's magic. It's AP, but not psychic attack. It's AP2 and ignore cover. So it's magic, not psychic.
It's not that magic. It's
kind
a
of
little
magic.
bit of magic.
It's ancient magic. Don't speak then to me, witch. I don't know that there's any demons worth mentioning because these should be all in line with the changes that we've already seen.
Yeah.
We're not going to do combat patrol. Sorry, folks. Aramon, we mentioned in the game stream, he is only on disc now, which is fair. He does not get +1 to wound anymore, which is big sad. He is +1 to ritual, and he gives you 3 redeploys, put some things into redeploy. I don't know. His spell I like a lot better. So it used to be Psychic Stalk, which was a single shot precision that never worked because it's single shot precision. Now it's D6 +1 blast for D3 damage.
That's a complete reversal.
It's a complete reversal. It's a lot closer to like the Aspiring Sorcerer's spell. In fact, it's
The Exalted Sorcerer. Well,
Exalted. What did I say?
aspiring.
It's Exalted.
The opposite.
Yeah. It's like a weird side grade. It's actually a little bit worse, I think. Which let's talk about now. Exalted
Classic
Sorcerer.
Ahriman.
Classic. So they have a flamer, so it auto hits at 18 inches. It's D6 shots, but it is a flamer. Strength 6, AP2, D3 damage. Seems kind of better.
A D3 damage flamer.
Yeah, they've always been that.
Good.
They've been good. And now the Exalted Sorcerers on disc give their unit 18-inch lone op. So again, they kind of moved around the rolls. The awkward thing is 18-inch lone op. He shoots 18, and his ability is when you shoot something in 18, if they're infantry, -2 to move, -2 to charge.
But he's within 18 of, so.
Exactly.
But because they're already there. They don't. Yeah, they're -2, but they're already. They got there.
It's weird, right?
They made it.
They did it. They did it. Like, it's kind of weird. And notably, he can lead Zangor Enlightened. Pretty sick, right? Pretty sick. Zangor, baby. It's happening. Can you check if the Destructor affects all his weapons?
But you might have it.
I might have it. Let's see.
Yeah, you have it.
Destructor. Improve the AP. Each time it makes a ranged attack. Yeah, it's just any ranged attack.
So it includes the heavy bolters.
Yes, but does not. When you target monsters and vehicles, it does not work. But yeah, it does work on everything.
Yep.
Pretty good.
Yep.
Thanks, Just Dude, for the super chat. We appreciate it. A little off topic, but with GW adding barely any data sheets in the monogod codexes, are you guys worried that Leagues of Votann will only get the generic character for this edition, more unique models? Yes.
I mean,
I'm worried now.
Worried implies that I ever expected to get more than
Dang.
just a character.
We've been waiting years for them, Bridger. Years.
Yeah, but I think Leagues of Votann was a not popular enough of a faction for them to like care.
Yeah. You think maybe they wanted to see how successful it was, and then see?
Yeah, they
Pretty
like
niche.
they like made enough of an army that they would be fine leaving it there.
Yeah.
And if it was really popular, they would make more. And the immediate response of most of the audience in 40k was like, I don't like the aesthetic.
Yeah. Well, they also soured it with the rules release too.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, the way that these releases have gone, it's given me less faith that we're going to get certain model upgrades that we expected this edition.
Yep.
Obviously, anything can happen in the future, but like, yeah, I don't know, you know? And I kind of saw the writing on the wall within the last year, especially in regards to Blood Crushers, and where I was like, oh, Oh, maybe we're not getting mounted world leaders. Maybe they're just going to be able to join Blood Crushers, and here we are.
Yep, here we are.
So, yeah. Never say never. They are, obviously, one of the later slated factions, which could make them eligible for a big model refresh. I could see them. I could see Drukhari. That's about it at this point, right?
We got Eldar refresh this edition already.
We've had one refresh. We've had
You want
refresh.
second breakfast?
I don't think second breakfast is unreasonable. 2 army refreshes in addition?
Well, we
also had the NIDS.
Yeah, we had the Tyranid
And then
launch
and the
box.
Space Marines. We always get Space Marines. Yeah,
And we had an Eldar refresh.
I guess we've had 2.
And look, there's a lot of stuff out there that needs a refresh. I don't know if Votan's on the top of their list.
Yeah, no, you make a valid point. So, well, at the end of the day, we're all in agreement that it's not guaranteed.
Well, there's a bunch of different Space Marines. Yeah, we did Blood Angels and Dark Angels and Space Wolves. All getting new models.
Oh, also Emperor's Children.
And a whole new faction.
Ooh, okay, yeah, I don't think Votan are getting anything.
Yeah. Well, look at their one character. Everybody gets a character.
Yeah, exactly. We have not done the Forge Fiend, Mauler Fiend. We'll get there in a moment. Zangors, they're great. They scout 6 inches. Yeah. They uppy downy. They're like 60 points. They're awesome. So even outside of the Zangor detachment, I think you're at least trying to take 2 squads.
Yeah.
They're like 60 points. So we lost Cultists, but Zangors are great.
Who wants Cultists anyway?
Yeah, exactly. Foot Sorcerer, as we mentioned earlier, gives you lethal hits. He's got his Pandemonic Delusion still, and he's a once per game. Oh no, you can best day ever in shooting phase. Good. Oh. Because that's more likely what you'd want to do.
Yeah.
+3 strength and attacks, which takes him up to 9 shots with his sustained 3 weapon. That goes up to strength 8. That's fun. That's cool. Again, so that's a good choice for like bolter rubrics. Sorcerer and Terminator armor we played during the game. Lethal hits. Oh, I totally forgot about this. This is a weird one. He's a marker light.
What?
After his unit shoots, everyone else gets +1 to hit against that unit.
What?
But he's like leading like the big chonker unit. So like why?
That's weird.
Why? Now he didn't really get to use his Gaze of Hate really effectively against you, but I like it a lot. It's anti-monster, anti-vehicle 4+, and dev. And it's our EP3 for 2 damage.
Wow. So they put anti and dev on a guy.
Yeah, anti-4.
Yeah, that's
very spicy.
They don't often do that.
No, they try to be careful. Magnus is theoretically worse. He no longer gives +1 to hit, +1 to wound. He's certainly not giving rerolls.
I still think he's mandatory.
He's still amazing, though. Here's the thing. +2 to your psychic test, and he can do an extra ritual. And his abilities, his Primarch abilities, Crimson King's abilities, are as follows. You're still -1 damage, but it doesn't work against psychic weapons. Thematic, I suppose.
Okay.
You know?
Treason of Tzeentch is pretty bad. Start of the opponent's shooting phase. You pick one of their units within 24, and they get hazardous in their shooting. Whatever.
Do you remember what Treason of Tzeentch used to be? You would
use mind control.
You would mind control a character, and they would like kill their whole squad.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was awesome. And now Treason of Tzeentch is your psychic weapons get 4 up hazardous?
No, so I misspoke. It's not psychic weapons. It's within range of the psyker. So it could be anything.
That's not what Treason of Tzeentch
What this should be, at a minimum, is anything that targets them in the shooting phase should be hazardous.
Yeah.
I would still not take this.
And even then you wouldn't use it, because
Correct.
-1 damage is still better.
Yeah. And then finally, psyker units within 6 get +2 move. Still a great one. Good for the early game. It's good. Chaos Spawn we used 5 up invuln, 5 up feel no pain, healing 3 wounds at the start of each player's command phase.
Still a joke.
Kind of a joke, but I don't know. I think it was good.
Still a joke.
Predator we talked about earlier in the stream.
Yep.
Annihilator we talked about. The Rhino we talked about.
Yep.
Vindicator we talked about. The Land Raider, the Raider of Lands.
Still just has assault ramp.
Nothing special.
Does it have fancy heavy bolters?
Yes.
It's a Soulstorm las cannon. What? There's
Soul Shatter las cannon. What does that mean?
It's all the same. Okay. It's
Okay.
not different.
And then they do get the upgraded heavy bolter, which is hilarious.
Okay.
So random.
Yeah.
Hellbrute. Okay, here we go. Someone was saying we'll have feelings. Terrifying Assault in the shooting or fight phase. In your shooting and the fight phase, after they've shot or fought, select an enemy unit hit by one of them. Take a battle shock test at -1 if they're within 9 of 1,000 Suns Psyker.
Yep.
Weird. And if you're equipped with 2 melee weapons in addition, is close combat weapon, add 2 to the attack characteristics of those weapons. Okay, makes sense.
This does not excite me.
I don't see anything crazy here.
The World Eater's Hellbrute has fight every time you get fought.
Yeah, that one's nuts.
So
The rest of them I just don't like because they don't make them buff or help anyone. They just go fight by themselves.
yeah,
So yeah, I'm not crazy about it. Let us know if we're missing something there.
yeah.
Forge Fiend, here we go.
Got rapid fire on that bad boy?
It's worse than yours.
No rapid fire.
Blazing salvos, otherwise known as suppressing fire. So if you shoot something and you don't kill it, which is what you'd rather do, they're -1 to hit.
Cool.
Or, hear me out, you just be war leaders and you just kill the thing you're shooting at.
You reroll all your hits.
Yeah. So funny enough, it's not the best best one. You don't have the +1 shots for rapid fire. You don't get the dev like CSN get it, which is good.
Yeah.
Mauler Fiend, free heroic, and you can reroll the charge if it's heroicing into something that's fighting your psychers. That's cute. He's like, no, friend! Ah! And that's the last day of sheet.
Okay.
Perfect.
Look, Thousand Suns seems strong.
Yeah.
It's a bummer that their best stuff is leaf blower vehicles.
Right, right.
I think Magnus is still mandatory. I've seen some people say he's not. I don't know.
I think you could get away with him, but I think he's very strong. He's just a strong dude.
Yeah.
+2 to rituals is very important to hit that threshold. Can heroic even if others heroic? Oh, it's a double strat. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Robots and him. And as Green Elf was saying, yeah, some fun play with vehicle detachment rerolls with like the helper and stuff. I think a Mauler Fiend's not crazy in that detachment. Yeah, it's a strong book. It's a strong book.
Yep.
So it's flexible. I mean, you kind of nailed it right there.
Yep.
So lots to try out, folks. I know there was a lot to go through. Let us know, of course, in chat, in the comments, what you think, what you're thinking about it. If you disagree on any evaluations, other than the extra D6, we don't know. Obviously, we have a way that we think it should be played, but we're open to that being not correct. So we'll find out hopefully within a week, and we will determine the best way to take it from there. And we'll also see if we can get some clarification from GW to know how to approach it. Come Tuesday, when it is our next Thousand Suns game, we'll put a poll up for the members only to decide what detachment we play, and we'll take it from there.
Cool.
Awesome. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you. Bad at melee. Sometimes they're less good at melee.
They seem fine at melee.
I think they're good enough.
The Terminator, the Scarecrow Terminators seemed. They held their own.
They're so spooky.
They were fine.
We did look at demons. It didn't look super interesting, unfortunately. I think an FAQ could fix it, but I don't think that'll come for a little while because it's not like it's wrong. It's not broken. It's just not fun.
It's not worth playing.
Yeah. So wonderful, folks. Grotma's detachment seems better now. Yeah, exactly. Which is kind of one thing we figured, right? Was this is a book where the book was probably already written and the detachment would fulfill other things, and it was probably designed to work with this. So we'll have to try that one as well now that things are changed.
Cool.
With that, folks, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We love you. We'll catch you all next time on the tabletop. Bye.